Good morning this morning. Yeah, good morning. Good morning this Monday morning, this beautiful Monday morning, the second to the last Monday in the month of February. You can see that I'm adjusting my glasses. It's a
Like this
month of,
February is long.
the February,
It's
fear
not
God.
long.
Fear God.
Long.
Yeah, since the person I was complaining that January was long.
No, I not complain of January.
Of 4 months, you didn't complain of January. You're complaining
This
of
February
February.
just be so long.
January was
Day.
January was 3 months in a month.
No, I'm not feeling like that.
How did you feel it?
I felt it like 2 weeks in a month. That January was flying. But you see this February, it's okay.
Jennifer, you...
Don't mind that.
I operate from a different level. Okay?
No choke, no choke. All right, you're welcome to the newspaper review here on Lagoon Radio, broadcasting live to you from Marina, Lagos. And today is all vibes, like Monday vibes, positive vibes, strictly. My name is Olabisi Simidele, okay, and I have with me some chocolates. If you want to know the meaning of chocolate, you can see me after the show.
Caramel. Melanie. No, there's no Melanie here.
Melanie popping.
Melanie popping.
Melanie.
There's Melanie popping.
There's caramel.
There's caramel.
There's chocolate.
There's black chocolate.
Yes, I don't know. Color.
There's white chocolate.
No, yours is black chocolate. No, sorry, burnt chocolate. Then chocolate.
Whatever. Oh, join. Okay.
That is not correct. What is burnt
Yes,
chocolate?
please go on.
I have with me Taiwadela Shabiole,
Sharp.
aka DJ Sharp. 2 fingers in the hair, thank you. And I have with me Jennifer Ubri, aka Jennifer Jubri.
Hello.
The only
Yeah.
the only Aqua Ibom bread about that you did our miss.
Please, I don't know. Anyway.
Then I also have with me Alao Olumakaiye Solami,
Questioner of
aka
our
Case
time.
Glam.
Good
morning. Yeah, the only thing she knows how to do is to ask questions.
She's
So
very
that's
good
what you
at
know
that.
me for.
All right, in no particular order.
Cinderella, how was your weekend?
My weekend was
Let's be nice to you.
Just
my
for
weekend was.
Okay.
now.
You choke.
You get it?
Yeah.
If you don't get it,
forget
about
it.
In a particular order, we have the Business AM, Nigerian Pilots, The Authority, Nigerian News Direct, New Telegraph, National Economy, Nigerian Tribune, Daily Trust, This Day, Blueprint Papers, Leadership, Al Jazeera, today's Monday, of course, and This Nigeria, Daily Champion, and Daily Times. I think we have a whole book, but we're going to select the major ones, as usual. We have some that carry the same story, so we're not going to really do much on that because of our time. So as a business person that I am, let me adjust my kimono. As a business person that I am, I'll be starting with the Business AM, and I love calling dollars, especially billion dollars, and I love calling naira, especially if it's trillion. When it comes to trillion, I love. So this is on page 2 of Business AM. SPDC Shell go to Owerri Court to appeal $1.95 billion judgment debt. The Shell Petroleum Development Company, Shell International United Kingdom, and Shell International Exploration and Production, Netherlands, they will actually be heading to the appeal court in Owerri Division on Thursday to begin the process of trying to convince an appeal panel to obtain an 800 billion naira. He choke 800 billion naira, which is equivalent to $1.95 billion judgment debt that has entered the record books as the largest award ever proclaimed by any judge in the history of Nigeria. It's even the largest amount I'm calling right now. So you can get that on page 2 of Business AM. And this is boldly written at the front page of Business AM papers. Nigeria's 2021 GDP at 3.4% as negative oil sector growth real threat to revenue target. Elumelu decries loss of oil price rally, and there's concern over fiscal sustainability. Also on page 2 of Business AM, we actually have some summaries of the what is contained in the Business AM right here. The former banking executive protests Lagos Lamata Lasma BRT scam. That's on page 19. And this is on finance and investment. A post-Christmas blues inflation, notwithstanding the outcome of the January inflation rate report released last week Tuesday, millions of Nigeria are what? Get that on page 11 of Business AM. And this is on energy, power and renewable, for scarcity, leadership and the public. Want to know more about that? That's on page 26 of Business AM paper. Transport business makeover for Volvo XC90 SUV. Gang. That's on page 29 of Business AM. And this is on company and business United Capital. 1 naira 50 kobo to shareholders as a United Capital, Nigeria's first investment banking company to be floated on the Nigerian exchange. So that's on page 24. And also we have on commodities and agriculture boost with solar irrigation. That's actually, it's actually a good news as agriculture is shows that agriculture is becoming more advanced. Get out on page 22 of Business AM papers. And all that we have some other stories on page 14, 15 and also page 27 respectively. That'll be all on Business AM papers.
Thank you.
So moving on to the Nigerian Pilot newspaper, we can see counterpart funds. UPEG says 51 billion naira. Serap threatens to sue 36 governors. You can read up more on page 6. Osun APC Oyetola extends olive branch to Adeoti and Lason. You can find these on page 8. The major headline here says mind-boggling. NDLEA intercepts $4.7 million counterfeit cash in Abuja. Principal suspect Abdul Muni Maiki Suwa, 52 years old, arrested. Arrests nursing mother 3 weeks after bail on the same drug offense as Mawa comments operative and urges them not to rest on their hours. You can read all of these on page 8. Majority of applicants fail police recruitment examination, says PSC. You can read up more on page 6. And as regards food scarcity, it says, be patient with us, federal government tells Nigerians on page 9. I still read it this morning that they are saying that, per litre will still get to 180. And you guys are still telling us to be patient. How long are we going to be patient?
Be patient, dog is the farthest bone.
Yeah, that one you people are even thinking is not what I'm thinking. As I saw NDLEA intercept $4.7 million counterfeit cash in Abuja. I feel that maybe if NDLEA can get the cash across to me, let me test it.
You get
whether or not
it's counterfeit or not, just send it to me and forget about it.
You know.
So on page 5, it says court told to reverse 80.6 billion naira contracts awarded to CCEC, and Wike berates Ayade police over attempts to thwart PDP rally. You can read up more on page 8. 9 persons burnt beyond recognition in Kwara auto crash. Page 5.
Pregnant
sad, Sha.
Kwara, Ilorin, pregnant woman was involved. So
Yeah.
As well.
I saw that yesterday night.
Aldrich report how Uni Abuja mismanaged 603 million naira, IGR says on page 5. IPOP court to shift venue of Nnamdi Kano's terrorism trial. All of this can be found on page 6, and that is all about the front page of Nigerian Pilot. Moving on.
Okay, we're moving on. With me is the News Direct. First headline on the page is Scandal rocks aviation ministry as minister terminates over 80 janitorial service providers. You can find that on page 4. We have Nigerian content retains $8 billion annually, creates 50,000 jobs. Also on page 4, FG halts use of personal emails for public officials. You can read more on that on page 29 of News Direct. The major headline on this newspaper is mixed reactions trail 100% increment in domestic airlines fares. List economy tickets to be sold 50,000 naira effective next week. That's on page 4. That's how transportation will start going up gradually, but it is well. We also have an image on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. If you want to know who these people are, grab a copy. And beneath the paper, capacity building, NIMASA renews MOU with World Maritime University. And last headline on the front page of Nigerian News Direct, Osun APC primaries, Oyetola extends hands of fellowship to Adeoti Lasun to build Osun together. That is all we can take on the Nigerian News Direct. No more, grab a copy.
All right, I'll be taking the authority, and at the very top we have 2023 HADA issues 14 days ultimatum to Emefiele to quit CBN. Yeah, because he's running for
we talked about this last week. That's the best thing to do. You can't take too sensitive positions.
Yes, very, very sensitive. Even though I don't know, maybe he has been given that
well, they finally told him the right thing to do.
At least
maybe he has been given confidence that he has been assured that probably he would win the election. I don't know. There's people that are really dragging this thing. Now that's on page 6. That's an interesting one you might want to reach out to. Group 2, Ekwere Madu. Drop your ambition. Rallies support for Enugu East Senatorial District. This is on page 2. NCCC meets FCTA over 5G deployment. It's on page 11. ASU, damaging future of Nigerian youth, says a Boeing federal lawmaker. That's on page 8.
It's not my feature that they are damaging.
To be honest,
press control P.
To be honest, it's really doing more damages than good.
Yes, so think about it.
I mean, we shouldn't be where we are today. I remember some schools then, when they go on strike, you might not even finish until after 7 years.
See, I'm not blaming.
If it goes on strike a lot.
Yes, till now, till now. Because before ASU strike started, if we were already clamoring for strike. See, I don't blame people that take their kids to private schools, really, because with this kind of thing.
But everybody cannot afford a private.
But yes, to me, I believe if the federal government had done their bid, there wouldn't be cause for strikes.
At least now they are saying that they are not even aware.
They are.
That's the gist of last week, that they are not aware.
Meetings and all that. They are. I think with the federal government saying they are not aware, maybe just for the books or for the papers.
Yeah, for the papers.
Honestly, I think they are aware.
They're very much aware. They're very much aware.
Amendment Electoral Bill. Thank you very much, everyone. CSOs must mobilize for mass protest. And the writers to that says no postponement of election, says INEC assures. INEC may fall back on 2010 Act. And there's a little something. It says, as fears continue to grow of another possible withholding of presidential assent to reworked electoral bill by President Muhammadu Buhari over 30 civil society organizations, that CSOs have concluded plans to stage a massive protest against the delay in signing the bill in Abuja. And so many more. You can continue reading on page 16. And on the front page as well, at the very bottom, APC at crossroad as governors 2023 ambition meet stall, not convention, tears party apart. That's on page 2. And on page 10, pregnant woman, 8 others burned to death in Ilorin auto crash. Why Niger Delta deserves to be developed, says Oshimbaju. That's on page 3. And on page 5, Serap draws battle lines with 36 governors over 51 billion naira UBEC fund. And on the front page, you have a picture of the secretary to the governor of the Federation, SGF boss Mustafa, Senator Ayin Pius Anyimi, former President Goodluck Jonathan, former Vice President Nnamdi Sambo during Senator Ayim's 61st birthday in Abuja on Sunday. That'll be all on the authority.
All right, thank you, AKD Jojo. I'll be moving to the New Telegraph papers, like I said, I love talking about money. SDR, Nigeria may benefit as IMF eyes reallocation. International Monetary Fund is doing like this to allocation, okay? And the writer today said to that says a federal government received $3.35 billion out of $650 billion. All this money I've been calling. God, will it be possible that
together,
as I'm calling this money, it's landing inside my account?
as you're calling the money, you're calling it forth.
No, don't let me call it forth. Let me call it into my account. As I'm calling it, let my alert just be doing
billion dollars.
Thank you. So and this is FDC positive growth may trigger interest rate hike. That's on page 22 and on page 3 respectively. And we have this on Finance Act. Fresh crisis looms over stamp duties collection as union kicks against Nikon-Sat privatization. That's on page 6. And this is on fuel scarcity. TUC may direct workers to stop work.
Don't worry, we're not going to be affected.
And the federal government says the scarcity is due to inspection failure, and the federal government actually apologizes to Nigerians. That's on page 2 and page 6. Yeah, apology accepted. If and only no apology accepted if and only if there's no price hike. Like seriously, like I'm beginning to last week Friday I wanted to get fuel, and I'm this kind of person that once my fuel in my car starts approaching half tank, I used to feel uncomfortable. I'll be like, this fuel will soon finish in 5 minutes time. So I'm like, okay, let me just do a fill up before I
feel like that's why they are suggesting that the workers will have to stop work, because the thing is you not even getting agitated for then the stress you have to go through to fill up your tank, the cost or took you're going to get the fuel. Really what's facing it on the Monday morning?
But people will go hungry now. There will be hunger in the land. Take for example, we at Lagoon Radio now, we say, okay, because of fuel, we won't come to work. How are we going to push? How will there be income and expenditure? The income is actually important. You know, that kind of thing. So you can relate. So, federal government apology accepted on one condition. All right, see me after the show for the condition. Okay, still on page 2, federal government treating lecturers like slaves, says ASU, as the vows to liberate members with new decent salary. Still on page 2.
Saying this for a long time.
Yeah, and after the closed door, we said that last week that after the closed door meeting,
the doors will be open.
You will just hear that the strike has been suspended till God knows when. All right, this still on page 2. NYSC members offer scholarship to amputee boy in Benue. That's actually a very nice one. It's a very lovely one. Service to humanity, and God bless the contributors. Really. We can get that on page 2 of New Telegraph papers, and on the main headline, this on presidency. After Muslim, Christian should take over in 2023, says Khan, as both religions are critical partners in Nigeria, says it will mobilize Christian to produce Buhari's successor. Rejects Muslim, Christian ticket. That's also on page 2 of New Telegraph papers. And moving to page 3, 5 days to APC convention. Members says we don't know what's going on. Why CPC is afraid to approach Aso Rock. We don't know what is going on. And still on page 3 and also on page 7, aviation, airlines, passengers grown as fares hit record high. Okay. And I begin to wonder, do planes use petrol or diesel? Like seriously?
Honestly, I don't know.
And this is getting a kind of too much, because hiking fares are killing Nigerians' desire to travel by air, and the road is not even really safe anymore. Like over the weekend, I read that there was this woman that went to maybe Ire or Ede to get a certificate, and coming back to Lagos, they couldn't say that was the end.
She was kidnapped.
They couldn't find her, so we don't know if she was kidnapped or she missed her way, or we don't know. And I hope we get an update about that before the end of today. And United Airlines Airpeace signed business pact. And another one, Okonkwo said we need to collaborate, no more unhealthy rivalry. So I think that you can get it on page 3 and page 7. And on page 6, this is a study, medical study, and it links miscarriage to changes in vaginal bacteria. So study links miscarriage to changes in vaginal bacteria. To get more of that, you can get that on page 6 of the New Telegraph papers. I think I'm done with the New Telegraph.
Okay, so moving on to the national economy very quickly. 10 listed firms add 6 trillion naira to capital markets capitalization. You can read up more on page 5. Growing youth unemployment may set Nigeria back 5 decades. Analysts say lack of plan to constructively engage youth is disastrous. You can read up more on page 4. Meet National Economy Board of Economists. I think that is the picture we have on the front page of the paper. As regards capacity building, NIMASA renews MOU with World Maritime University. You can read up on page 10. And by this side, we have the leader to watch, Stella Okejue Onyejue, experienced professional at NISA. That is who she is. You can read up more on that. And that is all about the National Economy newspaper for this morning.
Okay, quickly, the Nigerian Tribune. Queen Elizabeth tests positive for COVID-19. You can read more on that on page 4.
That's what is
Consola, leave me alone. Nigerian content retains $8 billion annually, creates 50,000 jobs. We've already taken that, but you can still read more on page 7. Thousands of imported vehicles trapped at seaports over VIN valuation. That's also on page 7 of the Nigerian Tribune. 6 days to APC convention, certainty over delegates list. Right under that, we have consensus. Unity list won't be acceptable to Buhari, says Mustafa. Concerned aspirants ask party leadership to postpone convention. To get more information, check page 23 of the Nigerian Tribune. We also have medical professionals give divergent views on COVID-19 vaccine production on page 5. Pregnant woman, 12 others die in Kwara, Bauchi road crashes. Gunmen kill NDLEA officer, set Hilux van ablaze in Ebonyi. All of that you can check on page 26. NAFDAC impounds 120 tons of chemical-laden hide skin. Momo. That's on page 27.
I actually saw that and I didn't want to read that. Like, seriously, me that I love Momo.
Oh, she was already telling me this morning that she wants to eat Momo.
Yeah, she said that.
Osun APC primaries. Oyetola Gamers 222,169 votes. Aregbeshola's man 12,921 votes. That's on page 24. And we have trouble in air transport as Nigerian airlines increase fares. You push have mercy on me. Fare increase in order. NCAA. Air travelers weigh road transport option as airlines attribute fare increase to hostile environment. 1 hour flight now sells for 50,000 naira to 100,000 naira. Liter of jet AI now jumps from 190 naira to 400 naira, 500 naira. Can get that on page 6. We have 2023, no amount of intimidation can stop me, says Tinubu. Visits Alafin Olubadan designate. That's on page 23. And that's all we can take from the Nigerian Tribune.
All right, I'll be looking at this Nigeria. Finance Act, fresh crisis looms over stamp duties, charge collection. That's on page 12. Uncertainty over APC February 26 convention. And the writers under that says, governors break into camps and state chairmen go on the ground. Date coincides with by-elections. Buhari meets governors Tuesday. All of this you can read on page 5. And the major story there says, as economic hardship bites harder, young Nigerians plot exit from country if not you, your children, then they here. And the writers to that said, upsurge in number of youth seeking greener pasture abroad.
Everybody wants
There's-
to jackpot.
It's true
Greener
now.
pasture.
If you have the opportunity, if you have the chance, just
Jackpot.
these people that are talking, youth are running away, youth are living, they are looking for greener pasture. Their children are they are not here. don't know if Naminka.
Is it matter?
There is total failure on social contract by the political class. All of this you can read on page 4. NAF jet kills 7 children in Niger Republic. That's on page 5. That's a sad one. NDLEA intercept counterfeit $4.7 million in Abuja. Okay, you can read that on page 18. And at the bottom, Oshun Oyetola extends olive branch as Aregbesola Mo's court option. That's on page 21. And on the front page, you see the picture of the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo, Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti, representative of Ondo State Governor, Mr. Donald Ojogo, the Deputy Governor of Kwara State, Mr. Kayode Alabi, during the burial service of former Governor of Oyo State, Adebayo Alawo Akala, at the Biola Baptist Center in Ogbomoso over the weekend. May his soul rest in peace.
Amen. All right, thank you so much, Shabi Enifa, Case Glam, for joining today's episode of the newspaper review. Don't forget, we're still on our social media platforms: Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, Instagram and Twitter at Lagoonradio.Ng, and of course, our website on www.lagoonradio.ng. And before we go, let's remind you to visit our IG page to view our artist for the week. Drop your favorite song for our artist of the week, which is Dunsin Oyeko, in the comment section, and listen throughout the day. Stay connected as we have some other soul-lifting content for you. By 10 a.m., we'll be having the Moment of Truth. Stay connected with Venerable Henry Adelego. My name is Simidele Oke. It's a good morning from me to you.